happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. So we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely going to want to check this one out. And initially, you all, I did not think that this was possible. We're seeing the whole Letitia James scandal worsen even further in this newest update. She's now finding herself wrapped up in the center of multiple campaign finance violations that could potentially bring even more trouble onto that corrupt New York Attorney General. Guys, I'm excited to get into it. So when I'm straight into it, all I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out. All right, so we got another exclusive coming from our lead man, Sam E. Antar. We have to give him all the credit in the world. Can't forget that he's the one who brought all the eyes, all the attention onto the corruption of that New York Attorney General Letitia James. Without him kicking off, spearheaded this investigation, we wouldn't have had nearly as much dirt as what we've seen come out on the Attorney General Letitia James, because no one else was looking. It took for an independent fraud investigator to get his hands dirty for us to get the truth on what's truly been going on behind the scenes with Letitia James. We got a new exclusive here stating that the New York Attorney General Letitia James is now using her official title to fundraise for Adrian Adams while under federal investigations and Virginia grand jury scrutiny. Wow. And this is very key right here. Adrian Adams is actually New York City mayoral candidate. Letitia James just endorsed earlier this week, and it came as no surprise, honestly, because she is up against one of Letitia James' arch nemesis, Andrew Cuomo, who she actually upended his run for New York City governor not too long ago. And ever since then, the two have been at it like cats and dogs. Letitia James has gotten caught bending the rules once again, pulling strings in order to work things in her favor or folks that she supports favor, as she's now sending out a text. Her text was signed as New York Attorney General, directing donors to enact blue with no proper disclaimers, potentially violating New York campaign finance laws, requiring clear disclosure of who paid for solicitations. Is this arrogance or desperation? James leverages her government position for political gain, even as DOJ investigates her mortgage fraud allegations. Oh, okay. So Letitia James just truly thinks she's above the law in all aspects. Now we're seeing that this is no little mistake. I mean, Letitia James is, out here soliciting folks, and she's not putting out the proper disclaimers. Let's see what this text said from Letitia James. Of course, it's a photo of Letitia James. She has to include herself on everything. We'll just run through it very briefly. She says, it's the New York Attorney General Letitia James with an exciting announcement. I'm officially endorsing Adrian Adams for New York City mayor. Our nation has descended into chaos and confusion, and New York has a target on its back. The Trump administration is threatening our way of life in every corner of our city, so we need a mayor who will stand up for what's right and protect our freedoms, our ways of life, our rule of law, and our democracy. Then she goes into a little backstory on Adrian Adams and says she is looking forward to someone who will put confidence over chaos, results over egos, and people over politics. Adrian is that leader, someone who is passionate and grounded in the principles with which this country was built. We can elect a proven leader with a record of getting things done without scandals and distractions. We can elect Adrian, but we need your help. Please, if you believe in her as much as I do, can you give today to support her campaign? Signed, Letitia James, New York State Attorney General. Stop to quit. Wow. So Letitia James is getting herself wrapped up in even another scandal. You would have thought Letitia James would have been trying to lay low a little bit, but this goes directly against campaign finance laws. And Letitia James just simply does not care. Things getting even worse though. And I actually have another tidbit for you guys. This was not the only campaign finance news in the state of New York today. Want to report we got Andrew Cuomo's campaign reaching out saying they've been docked by the New York State officials once again. They're siphoning their campaign funds and siphon straight over to the Adrian Adams campaign.
Melissa. Natalie, the Campaign Finance Board today docked Andrew Cuomo's campaign for the second time, citing reason to believe that his campaign broke the rules by illicitly coordinating with a billionaire-funded super PAC that's supporting him.
All those in favor? Aye.
Friday's vote by the keepers of taxpayer-funded matching dollars brings the total amount withheld from Andrew Cuomo's campaign for mayor to almost $1.3 million. Meanwhile, City Council Speaker Adrian Adams, who joined the mayor's race late, qualified for public matching funds for the first time on Friday, taking away $2 million that she can now spend on TV ads for the upcoming June 24th primary. She wants to become the first woman mayor of New York.
All right, you guys know I had to bring the whole story. I don't like leaving out bits and pieces. For folks like me who are very deeply seated in research, bringing out the article from White Collar Fraud Tammy Antar's site, saying that James' photo on her text shows her in professional attire with a pearl necklace against what appears to be a government office backdrop, not casual campaign imagery. The quote-unquote stop to quit tag reveals this came from a mass texting service, yet contains none of the standard campaign identifiers. The disconnect is striking. A text message sent under the authority of, quote, New York Attorney General Letitia James directs to a page that ActBlue states is not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. Okay, so Letitia James' text not only doesn't disclose that this is soliciting folks for a campaign, or she's asking for campaign donations, but it also directs folks to a sketchy site that is not authorized by ActBlue. Very interested to see what comes from that, what type of repercussions she could potentially face, Letitia James, for her scandalous text. Then goes on to say, in New York City, campaign finance rules require independent expenditures to be clearly disclosed. If this was a coordinated message, then the Adams campaign may be obligated to report it as an in-kind contribution. If it wasn't, then it likely violates independent expenditure laws because of James' coordination and official title uses. Okay, so she's mixing up the two. She's using her Letitia James, New York Attorney General title in order to, act as a personal favor, but she cannot do that. That goes directly against campaign finance laws in the state of New York. When New York's top law enforcement officer uses her official title to solicit campaign donation, where exactly is the line between public service and political activity? This question demands attention after a concerning text message campaign endorsed by Attorney General Letitia James says the timing is particularly brazen. James is currently under federal investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of New York, and a grand jury was convened in Virginia to examine alleged mortgage fraud allegations and financial disclosure violations. Rather than maintaining a low profile, she appears to be thumbing her nose at prosecutors leveraging her official position for political purposes, even as questions about her own legal compliance remain unresolved. So Letitia James, like I said earlier, it does surprise me that Letitia James, after all what she's going through right now, the mortgage fraud, insurance fraud, using taxpayer dollars to fly private jets, you would have thought she would probably try to lay a little bit low, especially if she feels like she's being bullied or she's the victim of political prosecution, selective prosecution. But no, Letitia James is continuing to do what Letitia James does. She's pulling strings left and right. When she says no one is above the law, she's talking about you and I, not herself. Her rules for thee, but not for me. That's how Letitia James operates. It says rather than introducing herself as a private citizen or a campaign volunteer, James opened with, hey, it's New York Attorney General Letitia James, and concludes by signing as Letitia James, New York Attorney General. The message leverages her official position to endorse Adams and directly solicits campaign donations through an embedded link. Key excerpts reveal the overtly political nature of this official-looking communication. And of course, we've seen the text, just like a brief snippet right here. This wasn't just another campaign blast. It was sent from a campaign-style number commonly used by political mass texting services, was signed using James' official government title, included a professional stage photo of her in what appears to be a government setting, and concluded with a direct donation link to support Adams' candidacy. The message raises serious ethical questions about the use of an official position to influence elections and secure advantages over political allies. And it's very interesting that this direct donation link also was never heard of by the ActBlue site, and they said they've never used this donation link before because if we know Letitia James and her corruption, she's probably found a way to backdoor or launder some funds, some donation money into her pocket, because we know the amount of legal trouble that she's currently facing, she could use all the help that she could get. So this wouldn't surprise me either. This sketchy donation link is what I really feel like folks need to look into. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to try to reach out to Sammy Antar, see if he doesn't look into where does this funnel to? Where is this direct donation link that ActBlue has never heard of? Where is this money actually going to? Is it getting funneled directly into the pockets? Don't tell me it's getting directly funneled into the pockets of Letitia James, because that's going to be a whole nother can of worms we're opening up as far as corruption of that New York Attorney General Letitia James. Then goes on to say that Letitia James didn't identify herself as a private citizen, campaign volunteer, or political surrogate. She invoked her position as New York Attorney General and used that office's authority to solicit campaign donations for a specific candidate. The message contains no disclaimer about who paid for it, creating confusion about whether this is an official communication from the Attorney General's office or a campaign advisement or advertisement. New York's Public Officer Law Section 74 establishes clear ethical boundaries. Public officials must avoid even the appearance of using their official position to secure unwarranted privileges for others. The statute specifically notes that officials should not use or attempt to use their official position to secure unwarranted privileges or exemptions for themselves or others. A campaign donation solicitation, especially one leveraging a state title and official imagery, raise a legitimate question about compliance with this standard. So Letitia James is doing what come on. We know exactly what this is. Now it's time to just go and drop the hammer on her. Letitia James is trying to be done for good. Obviously, is this someone that we want to continue to sit in that office? We can't forget Letitia James is up for re-election in 2026. Is this someone we truly want to be holding that office in the state of New York? The highest prosecutor, in the state of New York, and yet she's just so dishonest. I feel like her position is one of those where you can't keep making these silly mistakes. I feel like this is Letitia James. She's going to continue to try to use that card of, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't mean to, or this was just a mistake. I feel like you or I, maybe we could get away with these type of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes, throughout the days I go through, but Letitia James, as one of the highest prosecutors in the state of New York, you're telling me she's not dotting her I's and crossing her T's? I refuse to believe that this is all intentional, and she needs to be held accountable for it. Adams' failure to distance herself from this questionable solicitation is particularly revealing. As a mayoral candidate seeking to lead the nation's largest city, her willingness to benefit from potentially unethical campaign practices speaks volumes about her judgment and ethical standards. By accepting the fruits of James' dubious fundraising tactics without question, Adams demonstrates that she values political advantage over ethical governance. Her silence makes her not just a beneficiary, but an active participant in this troubling breach of public trust. Adams is choosing personal friendship over legal propriety, political loyalty over ethical leadership, and campaign coffers over the accountability voters deserve. Okay, so we've got a lot wrapped in there. This is definitely a pattern of patronage and power for Miss Letitia James. We're starting to see the trend here, right? Are we starting to see the trend? Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything, and I went over every single point. Illustrate Miss Letitia James' corruption yet again. She just, like I said a few weeks back, it's not going to stop. I say it surprised me, or I could not believe that this would come out, but deep down, I could believe it because we've opened that Pandora's box of the wrongdoings of that corrupt New York Attorney General Letitia James. It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, with the amount of corruption that we've seen behind the scenes going on from Letitia James, it's no shocker that there's definitely more. There's definitely even more. This is all tip of the iceberg. I keep saying it, but then more stuff comes out and I'm just like, oh my, there's no way that she actually done it. But she's done, I mean, she went after Donald Trump. She did the stupidest thing I think anyone could have done. She went after Donald Trump for overvalue or misrepresenting his assets, while all the while she's doing the same exact thing, except Donald Trump wasn't doing that. And there was no victims in the case. Letitia James just had that personal and political vendetta to come after Donald Trump. So if she was dumb enough to do that, I mean, I'm not surprised on any more dirt that comes out on Miss Letitia James. But guys, definitely got to hop in the comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking about this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.